So, ladies and gentlemen, let me check my mic is actually unmuted for the first. No, my mic is actually unmuted. Welcome to round 7 here at the Great British Circuit of Racing at Silverstone. With me today, Martin, your host, Division 2 driver, and full-time fucking Irish fidget spinner, as some may say. But this week we're at Silverstone. We had a sprint qualifying. The grid for that was dictated by the championship, and the championship order was reversed, and such was the order. So, because the order was reversed, just bear with me a moment, and I will indicate the setup. I will indicate the lineup. I'll tell you the lineup for the stream or the first race, even. So for Division 1, just going to scroll through all the shit that's gone on. Something happened to that 25% race I have not yet seen, apparently. So, for the sprint race, Digo was on pole, followed by Destroying, followed by Exo Wolves in P3, IVP Hashtag in P4, Farza P5, Psycho P6, Rutger P7, Curtis P8, Zam P9, Fish to Chiba Raiba, I'm just going to call him Fish, P10, Hooliman P11, Bella Stew P12, Falcott P13, M1 Righty P14, Uriel David P15, Gamer Timer 16, Empire Maverick 17, VFR High Speed 18, CPI Razorback 19, and URL Ryan P20. Now the reserves, doesn't matter where they are on the standings, they automatically start at the back of the grid, meaning VFR High Speed is currently our championship leader. Looking at the results from the sprint race, obviously IVP Hashtag up 4 places and obviously sat on pole position now. M1W from 14 up to 2nd, very good for him. Destroying only moved up one, went down a position actually to P3, and Walcott managed to move himself up a few positions to P4. Farza as well, he just stayed, he's plateaued in this race. Mr. Psycho, P6 in the sprint, and is now 15th, not good for him. Rutger, P7 in the sprint, now P19 at the back there. Curtis, P8. Where the fuck is Curtis? I can't see Curtis's name on here. I can't help but feel like Curtis has left because I can't see his name. And then FNR Zam, he is now in 14th, started in 9th. And Fish P10, and now moved down one position for the start of our feature race here today. 26 laps around Silverstone, a classic track that's been altered over the years. Previously started elsewhere on the track, but now starts here on the Hamilton Straight, I believe. Previously started before Cops Corner into Maggots and Beckett's, but it got moved for a reason I don't know, but the new building looks awesome. More stands, more fun. The final cars are pulling up to the grid. And now the lights, 1 light, 2 lights, 3, 4 and 5. And we are underway here at Silverstone. IVP Hashtag seems to get away quite well, followed by M1, followed by Destroying. Destroying is going to go wheel to wheel with M1. He bows out there. Walcott now getting interested a little bit, as there's contact between M1 and Destroying. Further back, they seem to be all clean so far. No contact, no spinners. VFR High Speed and CPI Razorback have dropped back though. Empire Maverick getting 2 positions off the start. There's now some P6 battling with Digo there. Digo's teammate Ballestio following close behind him, P8. Following that, Exo Wolves is dropping some more. Doesn't appear to have any damage, just may have had a poor start. He's lost 5 positions currently, which is not a very good start for him. Meanwhile, elsewhere we have a yellow flag. I think that's a Ferrari gone round. Fish 2 Chiba has spun so far in the race. It's not a good start for him. Not a very good start at all. Saying that, CPR Razorback all the way at the back. I'm not sure if he's just decided to go for some sort of challenge, or I'm not sure what happened there. As IVB hashtag attacks those curves through Maggott and Beckett. Now he comes onto the hanger straight here, under the Fly Better Emirates Bridge, and he's extending his gap now only towards the second to M1 righty. M1 righty though, not big as a gap between him and the car behind, and destroying only 6/10. Walcott even closer. Farza holding the same pace in P4. Empire Maverick in P6. Digo P7. Ballastio P8 is currently getting racy. Ooh, gets a bit of a slide on. There's contact between Gamer Timer. Two of them have to take track. Oh, it's fucking carnage. Gamer Timer has been booted well off track. They're going wheel to wheel. Fuck me, I can't keep up. And it appears that Gamer Timer has gone. He's gone falling. He's gone falling quick. He's fallen from about P8 down to P17. He will not be happy. Perhaps he can do a Lewis Hamilton though and come from the back of the grid after getting spun on the early laps and end up getting the podium. You never know in this league. Anything can happen. Meanwhile, up front, M1 Righty London now has a 1.1, nearly 1.2 second gap to catch up to IVP hashtag, who is considerably opening that gap. Meanwhile, behind, the gaps are not as big. There seems to be the potential of some trains forming, unlike Division 2. The pace is very consistent between the different trains, as you can see, between approximately P8 and P8. Where is the gap? There's a gap somewhere. And I can't see it. Oh, the gap's there. The gap is there between Digo and URL Ryan there. Between 7 and 8 there. This is a little bit of a train forming, but I'm sure they'll want to hurry up and close that gap before the DRS train just zips them away. You know how powerful the DRS train can be after seeing Division 2 race. Meanwhile, IVP hashtag set the fastest lap. That'll be a time to beat for most. They are going quicker. This DRS is enabled as a yellow flag, and the final set down FNR exam is out of the race. Gamer Timer has got 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lanes as the safety car comes out, I do believe. No safety car, sorry, just VSC that. Gamer Timer and Exo Wolves are taking this opportunity to pit. Onto what tyres, I don't know. Exo onto a set of mediums, so he will have to stop again as he changes the front wings. And Gamer Timer onto a set of hards. So we can go to the end in theory, but it will be a very, very long stint for him indeed. As Gamer Timer has to wait for Exo Wolves to get out of the box there. It's very fucking unfortunate for himself there. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Saigo has a time penalty speeding under the safety car, a VSC. Can't help but feel that is bullshit, because this game is bullshit. Keeps that speed through that. There's again another yellow flag at the back. Fish 2 Chiba, has he spun out there? Yeah, Fish 2 Chiba spun out. I don't think it's going to ignite a VSC or anything. It's quite an empty sector. The cars are all the way other side of the track. I'm sure the stewards will get rid of that promptly. Meanwhile, ahead, IVP hashtag is extending his lead nearly up to 1.6.5 seconds, followed by Destroying. Then M Righty London P3, 3.5 tenths behind. Fishy Chirara has left the session, just confirming he crashed out. ANL Walcott very close behind, just under half a second there. Farza Sumatra P5, hanging in around there, 8 tenths. He is done the DRS zone, so you won't be too worried with your yellow flag. It appears Gamer Timer has gone off. I believe he might have gone off. His car is no longer moving. Apologies for that, folks. We'll just stay on board with these guys here as they come up to the next DRS though. Meanwhile, no moves happening. Faza Sumatra has now dipped out of the DRS zone as Bellistew sets the fastest lap. Decelerates into third. He'll excel. He goes up into fourth, short shift, and then down two. Getting out of the apex. Powered down now. He doesn't get the DRS, although he is close enough. But Walcott, yeah, these guys doesn't seem to be able to make a move at this current moment in time. It is quite a difficult track to overtake, but Destroying now does have the 3-second time penalty, I do believe. It's currently Mr. Psycho has a drive-through penalty to serve, but I don't know when he's going to serve that. He's sat in P11 at this moment in time. There is no perfect time to set that. I'm sure he'll have one more lap after this to do so. So he might be trying to make some inroads on doing so. Ryan does get himself a 3-second time penalty there. So we have two time penalties so far. I'm sure we have many warnings, but I won't check that for the time being. Back to the top now. Again, not much racing going on. They're all at similar levels of ERS, but Walcott seems to be conserving us a little bit more. Looking like he's going to go long on those medium tyres, and then when the rest box, he's going to absolutely bin it all. He doesn't seem to be getting too racy at this moment in time. I think he understands that the undercut around here is quite powerful, as we've got a yellow flag in sector 3 there. I do believe that's Bellistew taking a wander, having a look at our scenery. He dives into the pits there. I wonder if it's his tyres. Ryan has left the session. P9 has left the session, so I wonder if he's had disconnection issues or... So at this moment in time, they're always in DRS zones, but as I said, the DRS train around here is quite powerful, as they seems to be destroying, tries to prolong his lead. Walcott seems to be making a move around the outside now. He's going to make it stick. He's going to make it stick. Yeah, and Righty London dives back in behind him. Doesn't want to fight that. Very smart. Too early to be fighting in the race. A lot of things can happen, including the safety car. So it's a long race. Might as well keep his head down. Walcott has a tiny lock up there as we see the wheels stop spinning. Elsewhere on track, Bellistew is just chilling like a villain after having his pit. He's on a set of mediums. Thought his car was sliding at the back end there. He can go all the way to the end if he wants to, but whether he does or not, that's up to him. He might. I think I say he might. He probably will be hoping for a safety car to come his way. But save his day later on in the race. Meanwhile, back up the top end of the grid, Walcott now got DRS and Destroy him. Not exactly closing that gap, but he's not letting it open either. Gap holding between Ambrighty and Walcott and Destroying. It's about half a second both sides of the train there. As they are starting to pull away now, as you can tell from Faza Sumatra. So the trains are breaking up into even more and smaller individual packs. You've got IVP hashtag in his own little world, loving life. Followed by Destroying and P2. 3-second time penalty might add. ANL Walcott. Yes, anal, deal with it. Most people do deal with it if they come to anal. P3, no time penalties at the moment. I'm not sure about warnings, so I shall investigate later on. M1 Righty London, P4. 3-second time penalties. Too far back to make any moves. And then followed by Faza, who Empire Mavericks get closer. Doesn't have anything in it to make a move. He needs to be reasonably close around this track to make a move. The RS isn't powerful as other tracks. Undercut seems to work quite well, but again, it all depends. But Stu gets a 3-second time penalty there, unfortunately. Apologies for this. Now I'm back on like a carbon. There was a yellow flag in sector 2 there. I don't know who it was for because I was elsewhere, but everyone seems to have front wings for the time being. And so, ooh, Empire Maverick cuts off Hoodie Man there, getting a brilliant run. Power down. Is Hoodie Man close enough? He's not using the ERS, but he's closing in. Nah, he's not going to get close enough. He's been to. Oh, there's Rutger. There's no ERS left. Peculiar. Meanwhile, back up top, Euro David and high. That's why Euro Ryan. I think if high speed is actually coming to the box now, to get rid of his set of softs. Most soft runners will be boxing between now and lap 13, I imagine. I imagine he's pitting now to try and get an undercut on those ahead of him. How powerful the undercut on the mediums are, I do not know. I know on the softs they're quite good. We'll just check on position changes at the current moment in time. So IVP hashtag starting first and is currently remaining there. A very good start for him, nice and clean, getting away. Although his gap is starting to close down a little bit, I fear his tyres might be going off. Let's get the tyre options up. Yeah, those soft tyres, 8 laps old, they'll start to be losing their edge ever so slightly. But Destroying will still hold the advantage. As Destroying does gain some time to IVP hashtag there. Not much, but every tenth, every hundredth, every thousandth of a second makes a difference around here. And on Walcott now, starting to pull away from M right and starting to pull towards Destroying. It's looking very good race so far for Walcott. He still has no time penalties, including IVP hashtag. To be fair, most of the grid don't have time penalties, but when you're so high up, time penalties do matter. Meanwhile, now there is a very big grid, a very big gap now of nearly 4 seconds formed between M1 Righty and Faza Sumatra Digo. And Faza, the only 2 cars in that train now, as the train is separated behind as well with URL David, who has dropped away as Exo Wolves receives a 3-second time penalty. Following on from that, Empire Maverick is leading another 2-car battle between himself and Hooliman, with Rutger in behind. Just as I say that, Rutger's off into the wall and he has got damage and he's out of the race. Now, will this bring out a safety car? Crucially, will it bring out a virtual safety car? Is now out. Now, this could be very big indeed. This is landed right into IVB hashtags laps, and I'm sure he will be loving life. Depending on how, and the safety car has come out. And the safety car is out. Oh, shit's the fucking bed. And call me Simon. The guys at the back of the grid will be loving life. Psycho, unfortunately, had a drive-through time penalty. Now catch up and show his true pace with the rest of the grid. IVP hashtag is one lucky fucking prick. I do tell you, one lucky man. I'm sure a few in Division 2 would have loved to have themselves a safety car. I'll let you guys guess who that is. But he can now box, fresh set of rubber, and he can go racing when he comes out again. The Walcott, I think most people are pitting. Yeah, that pit lane's slowly becoming a car park. Everyone's slowing down accordingly. Yeah, nice and slow, nice and steady, not risking anything dumb. So, Walcott boxes onto a set of softs? What the fuck? Well, he said he could get them 13 laps in. He said, I spoke to him earlier on, he said he could do 18 laps on those softs, so he will be very fucking racy from the word go there. IVP hashtag on a set of mediums, so he can go all the way to the end. Destroying on a set of hards, he needs to abuse the living shit out of his tyres like he's Will Smith, and those tyres are Chris Watrock, and just give him a good fucking slap into temperature. So ANL Walcott down to Empire Maverick, all are on softs and can go to the end. However, if another safety car comes up, I'm sure they wouldn't mind boxing for a fresher set of softs to go racing even more. I'm sure something we would all look forward to. VFR high speed getting caught out. He boxed the previous lap before the safety car came out and Rutger crashed into the wall, but unfortunately he got Checo Perez and now he's stuck in P9 behind Empire Maverick. Would you mind P10 set of hards? I haven't fucking clue what he's doing, but you know, you do you. I think he was on a set of mediums previously and doesn't want to risk a softs, which is fair enough, but he may live to regret that. We are Ryan, who is unfortunately disconnected and can't get back in because this game is more shit than having a wank with sandpaper. But to be expected, it is an EA-owned platform now, or a game even. Mr. Psycho, P12. Unfortunate for him, he got a drive-through penalty, but now he's put a set of softs on, and he can show his true pace now, hopefully keeping it clean and climbing his way up the grid. Celestial, P13, 3-second time penalty for track limit. Let's see what he can do with a set of softs. The same goes for Exo Wolves as well. And CPR Razorback is a just shit race, frankly. He's now on a set of mediums, and he'll be catching up with the grid as soon as possible. I'm sure he would hope to resume the race. That's the all as it stands. Please bear with me. I'm gonna go take a mid-race shit. Tactical mid-race shit achieved, and the safety car is still not in this lap. Oh, I tell a fucking lie. Fuck this game, and it's bullshit. CPR Razorback has now got up to the back of the grid, and we will resume racing momentarily. IVP hashtag, I assume, will go relatively soon. Oh, he looks like he's gonna go. Looks like he's gonna go now. As he comes back across the line for lap 13, he's still in the lead, destroying now. Walcott getting quite close to destroying, still not close enough to make a move, unfortunately. DRS will not be activated for another 3 laps. Which is unfortunate for those. I'm sure some of them would love to start making some moves. Anyway, London has dropped off a little bit from the start there, but still remains close to Walcott. Whilst this match are already dropping off nearly a second from the restart. I'm not sure if he's got caught napping or what happened, but that's what happened so far. Digo P6 now from the start there. 7 tenths behind Farza, using a bit of ERS, just getting nice keeping range. So far so good. Very clean restart. CPR Razorback. Not doing very well. The restart there remains dead last, unfortunately for him. Meanwhile, back up the top of the grid, IVP hashtag has already reinstalled his 1 second gap on the car behind Destroying set hard. At this point, Destroying is going to open, the gap is going to open between Destroying and hashtag, because IVP hashtag started on the options, allowed himself to box onto the mediums, and he can now choose the tyre. Unlike Destroying, Walcott Farza, M1, Digo, and many others, they pick the medium tyre, so the option of soft or hard. Most of them picking the soft as the fastest tyre, and probably will try to prolong the life of those tyres towards the end of the race, while Destroying has picked that tyre instead. Walcott is now right up the chuff, Destroying here. As they come around the final corner for lap 16 of this race into the Hamilton straight. Destroying it's a bit of a wobble on there. Walcott now has the advantage, using ERS. Has a look on the inside, fakes it, thinks better of it. Oh, fuck me. That's unlucky for Destroying. Destroying just lost it there on the curb. He's retired from the race. Will that bring out the state? Oh my god. Has another car gone off as well? Bella's gone off as well. Oh then. Well then. That is, it's fucking interesting, boys. Good fucking job. Meanwhile, back out front, the IVP hashtag, and now because of Walker, I'm to avoid that collision with Destroying. He's had to take to the runoff, and now 2 seconds behind. M1 right, London. Now 3 seconds behind as Bella Stewart leaves the session. That is unfortunate. So DRS isn't enabled for another lap. That's M1 right, he dips into gear 4. Quite a peculiar tactic. I've not seen many do that around Silverstone. I know the high gears are preferred, especially Maggots Beckett's onto the hanger straight. Boom, 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 boom. Down a few gears, back on the power, and they head towards last chicane and finishing the 15th lap, where the DRS will be enabled. RVB hashtag will not have to worry about DRS whatsoever at this moment in time. No, M1 right, he's 2/10 off the back of Walcott. He is very fucking close now. Walcott, get the ERS down, get the power down, and try and get the fuck out of the way from M1 righty. He will be chasing him like a fucking mad dog with rabies. He's closing him, but he doesn't close him fast enough, and he decides to stay behind Walcott for another lap. Meanwhile, Farza and Digo sniffing each other's asses like they are dogs. Here, old David's starting to get interested, trying to build himself a human centipede-esque thing going on here, with everyone's noses that close to each other's arseholes. I'm sure they can all smell each other's breakfasts. That was a very good angle. I fucking missed it. Oh well. Meanwhile, Walcott doing a bit of tactical evasion, weaving left and right on the straight-ish areas to avoid giving M1 right a bit of more of a toe than he wants to, and he gets the power down very well. Managed to open up a gap of 5/10. Something he doesn't need to worry. I don't think he needs to worry about. Oh, I tell fucking lie. M1 right, he's closing, but I don't think he's close enough again. You need to be within 3/10. 2 and 3/10 is where the window where you need to be for the DRS to be effective. Even closer in reality, because you're going to have to end up using the DRS. As CPR Razorback does get past your Orion, who has unfortunately disconnected from the session, I just remembered. Meanwhile, elsewhere, IDP hashtag some of these, making it fucking boring. M1 and Walcott making it interesting for us, and so the guys back here, the human centipede has resumed. Your old David has a look up the inside of this fucking contact. Christ on a fucking bike, giving them each other a push and shove. No, fuck you, no, fuck you. Ready, fuck you, fuck you. Your old David gets a nice run out there. He's going to stick a wheel up the fucking in. Oh my fucking Christ on a fucking bike. That's a shit move to make. I'll just stay behind him, get the DRS suck. Get a toe of the DRS and make Farza suck on your fucking dirty air. But what's time round is the human centipede has now built itself to about 3 or 4 cars long. Stigo is now starting to, in fact, close up to the top 2 there. We have IVP hashtag again, just sat in his own little world, thinking to himself, watching a TikTok or 2 and fucking chilling like a villain. Now we have we're having ourselves a good little tasty battle here between the battle for P2. Getting very tasty. There are the human centipedes starting to form, as you can see in the bottom right of the map there. ANL Walcott is the one at the front of that centipede, loving life. No poo munching for him. At the back of the pack, not much is happening. At the back of the human centipede, VFR high speed is enjoying that. I'm sure I just saw Farza and Neural David come together. Farza gets all out of shape there as he puts the power down. I hope he's got no damage. IVB hashtag. His lead isn't exactly going anywhere at the moment in time. It's starting to close up by Walcott a little bit, but it's not closing up all that much to IVB hashtag, whose tyres will come into the zone around now in the coming laps as well. As M1 right again gets DRS on Walcott, but just isn't close enough to get the use of it. That ugly fucking airbox, the Alpine, Christ alive. Looks like the Elephant Man. The McLaren P4 of Digo, a very good race at him. He started further back. Actually, saying that, where did he start? Oh no, Digo's gained 2 positions here, so he started in P6. Hooliman, it's a 3-second time penalty. M1's dropped 1 position down, and Walcott's gained 2 off the start. URLD would get a mega 7 positions off the start. BFR High Speed getting 8, but is currently stuck in the back of the human centipede. Faza Sumatra is now blinking. His lights are blinking. He's all out. ERS, so he will be susceptible getting the double overtake on this straight here as the DRS opens. ERS isn't exactly on. Faza gives a shove and he says fuck off. Empire Maverick and VFR High Speed says fuck you too. So I'm sure those two will start to pull away as the gap has reopened between Empire Maverick and URL David. The centipede is chopped in half, but it's still continuing. Meanwhile, Mr. Psycho ALB has started to catch up to that train of cars now. Still off the pace a little bit, but it's there. I see the potential. He hasn't used the RS to catch up, unfortunately, but it's quite obvious at this point in the race. He needs to do so to keep up. There's the gap between ANL. Walcott has now closed the gap within under a second for a moment there through the apex. He does get the use of DRS here, so he will just close up towards IVB hashtag, who may start to sweat, but then again. Well, to be fair, he's not got that much ERS, so if Walcott can make the move now, or make it stick, he can drive away, join a bit of clean air, try and not get overtaken by an angry British man from London behind, and enjoy life and get himself a possible win, which was an unfortunate Portimao last week, because his tyres said, fuck you, I give up on life. Very much the same way that Bella, Destroy and Rutger, Gamer Time and Fish and FNR probably feel after this race. But the rest of these guys don't feel that at this moment in time. They're still racing, and hopefully they're still enjoying it. Someone right, he's very, very low on his ERS at this point in time as well. Using DRS, but Walcott really has fucking closed up, hasn't he? As URL David goes up the inside of Digo there, makes the move stick. Very good from him. So I think we'll sit on board with Walcott now as he gets the closest to a IVP hashtag. Any race that has all night even, sorry. I can't fucking speak English. Walcott now just 6/10 out, but I'm sure he will close up in these coming times. Walcott now getting the power down, DRS on, getting himself a little bit of toe. Closing. Only closes about 2.5 tenths there on him. But 2.5 tenths, you know, as I said earlier on, are very important in this race. They can mean the difference between a win and a loss. Faza is hanging on there. Empire Maverick. Oh, fuck me, Psycho. Oh, Psycho managed to catch it. I assumed that was dirt, yeah. Started playing with him, and his tyres might have been getting a bit toasty for him. We managed to keep it out the wall and keep it held. Very good job from Psycho. Meanwhile, back in front, Walcott now closed up the IVB hashtag within 4 tenths. Well, 5 tenths even now. He's going to use the DRS. He won't use ERS. There's no need to at this point in the race. He closes DRS early. He doesn't want to overtake him here. He wants to stay behind and try and get the move done in Sector 2, where he can, or in Sector 1 even, I do apologise. So you can, if he gets the overtake done, that would be very good for him, because he has the whole of Sector 2 and some of Sector 3 to run away from him. So Walcott seems to have a little bit of the upper hand in Sector 2 and 3, but not much. And Walcott now 7.5 tenths away. A little bit of luck up there, so the delta is open, still within DRS range though, luckily for Walcott. M1 right is close enough, but still, again, as I said, not close enough. And with Walcott having DRS, it's just not going anywhere anytime soon for him. As Empire, Faza some matches looking to go around the outside of Empire Maverick. He's holding in there, but a wheel bang in, telling him to fuck off and have the position. He's giving him a squeeze to the outside. And he makes a move stick. Will Empire Maverick decide to fight it back, or will he just concede for now, knowing the DRS straight is coming up in sector 3 after Madison Beckett. He concedes through Cops. Yeah, I'm assuming he'll go for the overtake through the Hangar straight there. C-Power Razorback has to touch the runoff area. XO Wolves in P12 there. Had a bit of a quiet race. Hooliman, P10, also a bit of a quiet race from him. Psycho is now ended up being dropped by Empire Maverick. Yeah, as Empire Maverick makes a very easy move up the inside. Faz's Matra has little to no ERS left. As you look up the inside, I think it's better of a very smart decision. VFR High Speed puts the gas down now, just after Diego and P5. Diego, very good performance so far. VFR High Speed, a very much better performance. Moved up 10 places off the start there. Meanwhile, Walcott is just still sat within DRS range of hashtag. At this point, the tyres will start to be going off a little bit as Walcott gets a wobble. Yeah, it's quite hard to get close. Well, you can get close, but you can't overtake. You have to be right up each other's chuff to do so. Walcott is in 7 ERS. IVP hashtag and Walcott on equal levels of ERS. M1 vastly less, half of what the guys in front of him are. Diego, much more than what ERL David has in his pocket. A bit of close racing there between Faza. Faza sticks up the inside, now he's going to make it stick. Yeah, he gets to the apex before. Oh, there's contact made though. Empire Maverick did not expect Faza to brake. Faza had to hit the inside line and had to brake, otherwise he would have gone flying into a fucking wall. Meanwhile, up ahead. Walcott now closing in the gap. It's going to be a very interesting battle by the end here. I think if he starts to use the RS now, it'll be a good decision. Close, get a bit away from M1 here at this point. As Empire Maverick does get a follow. Empire Maverick's out the race. Holy shit! Empire Maverick is out the race. He just drove into the pits and retired. I wonder if he had damage from his battle with Faza there. We'll find out later on. Gamer Time also leaves the session. That's unfortunate for the Alfa Romeo boys. They needed to score and needed to score big. Meanwhile, in front, Walcott still hung around 8/10 to IVP hashtag towards the end of the sector. That URL David now looking at a podium. Due to M1's time penalty there. I've been very happy with that. A position gained, now in podium position after penalties applied. M1 right is now blinking as he dips below 10% ERS. He's using ERS to get as close as physically possible to Walcott, but Walcott in fact is a lot closer to IVP hashtag this time around. But again, the dirty air through that chicane does matter, as IVP hashtag has been very good throughout so far this race. 3 laps now remaining. IVP hashtag in the lead, followed by Walcott. P2 M1 righty with a 3-second time penalty. P3 you're out David P4. Still looking at himself, getting himself a podium at this point. I'm not too sure. Hang on, let me check. Yep, he is in range to get himself a nice podium at the moment. We'll stay on board with Walcott, who is closing up quite dramatically here now. In closing stages of the race, I think Walcott realised he has to get a move on. I think he was managing throughout the middle part of that stint there, but he's starting to close up quite quickly at this point in time. Just the ERS on now. How is he going to make a move? Is he going to make a move? Is he going to make a move? As he moves into the inside, wheel to wheel. Breaks. You just get IVP dives in behind then. Walcott needs to make a very big dent on that delta time at the moment for sector 1 before the DRS zone comes up.